Pioneer brand canola with Optimum Gly, the highest yielding glyphosate tolerant trait on the market. What's next in canola happens here.
Bernard Tobin here at the Farm Progress Show in Boone, Iowa. I am over at ADM now catching up with Graig Whitehead. Graig, how's the show?
Been great. I'm only here for the day this year, unfortunately. I've got prior commitments, but man, it's been busy. The weather's been perfect. The tent, the ton of people coming through the tent. It's been awesome.
Yeah. Hey, I want to talk about a BiOWiSH enhanced efficiency fertilizer. Tell us a little bit about it. How's it fit?
So we actually got involved with BiOWiSH 3 years ago, and really that came about with a partnership that they had previously with one of our major vendors. And that vendor came to us and said, like, we'd appreciate if you guys had a look as well. So as I started going down doing my due diligence within the product, what became very evident very quickly was these guys have done their work. They've done their background. They have a data set that is as robust, if not more robust, than any other biological biostimulant product in the market. I'm talking 300 to 350 replicated trials over better part of 10 years and on a global level. So not just a single state or a single year. This is really, really impressive. And what becomes even more evident very quickly is the consistency of the results within those trials. An 86% win rate across the board, a 7.5% yield uplift among some of the, I will say, the less developed agricultural countries, and then about a 5.5 to 6% yield uplift in what I would call more developed agriculture countries such as North America.
Yeah, some amazing results. Hey, tell us a little bit about, we've seen a lot of biostimulants, a lot of biologicals. How does it work?
So it targets the root system of the plant directly. There's a lot of consistency from one root system to another. What we see for the most part within the biostimulant world is we are targeting or inoculating the soil. There is a lot of inconsistency within various soil biomes from 1 acre to the next or one soil type to the next. And that's where, in my opinion, we see a lot of the inconsistent results across the spectrum. And by the spectrum, I mean almost 500 companies, almost 2,000 products registered for sale today. And we need to get beyond that inconsistent result. We need to get beyond telling stories of making excuses and get to the point where we have something that is legitimate, that is a genuine tool that the farmer can utilize to grow a better crop.
Hey, where does it fit on the farm? Do you, when you look at your customer base, is it a better fit for one type of farmer than another?
So what's really intriguing and what really got me going with BiOWiSH was its ease of use. Very commonly what we will see is, in layman's terms, a jug of bugs and a jug of bug food. You mix the two together and you apply it. Unfortunately, there's a ticking clock when it comes to that, and oftentimes you only have 24, 48, maybe 72 hours to get that product to the field. So if you have a weather event, an equipment breakdown, something like that, the product is rendered useless. Where BiOWiSH really thrives here is we are applying it on urea, phosphate, potash, and it has a shelf life when applied on that fertilizer for up to a year. So if you're a farmer who typically takes your fertilizer home in the winter after harvest, puts it in a shed, and then applies it that spring, you still have maintained 100% of your product efficacy in that scenario. If you apply in the fall time, the soil cools off, the bugs lay dormant during the winter. When it warms up in the springtime, away you go. You've got the ability to utilize BiOWiSH in that scenario too. So where that's really important for the farmer is you don't have to change your management practice. You don't have to add more equipment. You don't have to add more passes over the field. You can do everything that you normally do, just add BiOWiSH to it.
Just to go back to consistency, one of the things we've seen with biologicals and biostimulants is that inconsistency. Working some places, working not in other places. Why the consistency with this product? I mean, just tell us a little bit about, I guess, that spectrum of where you've seen it work.
So when I say an 86% win rate, that's the consistency that I'm referring to. Typically within the biological world, a win rate would be 70-ish%, maybe a shade over. So they're close to 10 to 15% better than the average product out there.
Final question for you, for farmers who are considering buying and working with this product. You know, what's the real good fit for them? You know, in their cropping situation, in their cropping system, what are they trying to achieve if they should be thinking about BiOWiSH?
So 99 times out of 100, when I'm talking to a farmer about BiOWiSH, I'm talking to them about increasing yield. Maintain your nitrogen, your phosphate, your potash, your sulfur, your typical nutritional package, and increase your yield by that aforementioned 5.5 to 6%. However, we're only a few years removed from when urea was trading for $900 a U.S. short ton FOB New Orleans. You work that back into Canadian dollars, you're $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 a Canadian metric ton. You know what? BiOWiSH now has the data to support a 10% reduction in nitrogen application with a 4% increase in yield, as well as a 20% reduction in nitrogen application with a maintained yield relative to your grower's standard practice. Suppose nitrogen goes back to $1,300 a ton. Perhaps we're looking more towards the reduction in application now, and utilizing the BiOWiSH as a tool. Now, I said 99 out of 100. What's that last one want to talk about? That last one is more interested in sustainable ag, regen farming, or perhaps they're in a specific area of the country or province where there's regulatory pressures to reduce that fertilizer application. Now that farmer can reduce that fertilizer application without the risk of yield loss. And that's a really important thing for the grower to know. At the end of the day, priorities for me, number 1, 2, and 3, are farmer ROI. The rest of this stuff, whether it be the sustainable ag piece, the enhanced efficiency fertilizer piece, that'll take care of itself. The farmer has got to see a return. It's got to be consistent, and it's got to be consistent across crop types and geographies. And that's what BiOWiSH has shown.